Guys, you know the deal. I'm gonna walk around the thrift store and I'm gonna show you the ways that I would flip or DIY or reuse or repurpose things that I see in the thrift store that you probably will too. Are you guys ready? Let's go. Guys, you know the deal. Sometimes when you're thrifting, you find good stuff. Sometimes you find nothing. But we are going to walk around and see what we can find today to give you guys some inspiration because I need to get out of the house and I'm kind of losing my mind. So this might be a kind of crazy video. We'll see. Okay, this vase immediately caught my eye because of its beautiful little Art Deco silhouette. And I think that what you should do if you find something like this is turn it into a lamp. I will link a video below where I recently found a thrifted vintage lampshade, and you can easily add a little wireless bulb to this, but this is a base. If you guys can see the silhouette, it's really pretty. It's actually West Elm. It was $30 originally, $8 now, but add a cool lampshade. Really easy, really simple, very chic lamp. Okay, I am not a big jewelry person, but as you can see, we have all these beautiful pieces here. And a brilliant subscriber on my channel mentioned that she likes to thrift vintage necklaces and use those as little curtain tiebacks, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. If you were the subscriber who mentioned that, I love you. You're so smart. Please comment below. But you can see here, that would be so pretty. Another type of thing you will always see is this type of little like file divider. Really simple, really easy thing to do is actually mount it on the wall, and you can use it as a little like invisible book rack thing. I'll show a picture of an example right here. But if you have a really small space or like really tiny little side table or something and you need to like maximize space by putting this on the wall, do that. Wait. This might be one of my most ridiculous finds. You guys know what this is? This is the Mary Kay Mikasa collectible Mary Kay China set that you could have won if you were a Mary Kay saleswoman from 1970 to 1999. Guys, we're missing out. We're missing out. Okay. I love and collect vintage ashtrays, lighters, etc. I especially love when you can find any sort of ashtray like this that is like highly decorative, maybe sculptural, maybe thick, because I would absolutely use this as a trinket tray. I would absolutely also put a little globe lampshade on there with a little wireless bulb and make it a little lamp. I would also add a little plant pot. Hold please. Like, how cute. How simple, how easy. And obviously these can be any sort of tray, but specifically if you find any that are kind of thick or decorative or like more interesting than just kind of even the plain crystal. Side note, guys, I looked this up. This is like 1960s Mexico. It's crushed malachite. It is $2.99. What a score. Going straight to my collection. Do you guys want just a wee spot of tea? This is made in Italy. Que bella. Okay, I'm losing it. Now, you will also always find me looking for trays, right? Cool trays, but you can use non-tray objects as trays, or you can use trays like this as other objects. So for example, I think this is really pretty, very cool, very decorative. We have the little like Capiz shell lining. And you know what I might do with this? I might actually add a little cork board inside and then hang it on the wall like in an office. So just to make it a little bit more decorative, a little bit more fun. I think it's really pretty and just a cool, interesting way. Also, like, look at that silhouette, very cool. You're not gonna find a cork board like that at Target, you know, make your own, just say it. Do I want this? Do I need it? Story of my life. Side note, I love vintage National Geographics. I just think they're interesting. And I used to work in publishing, and I remember that it was a big deal when they realized that they were always catering to a very like male bachelor traveler thing. And then they realized that much of their readership is actually women who are active and cool and fun and love to travel, especially in middle age. Fun fact. Cute. Okay. In previous videos, I have talked about one overlooked place in the thrift store is often the pet supplies area. And one thing you should definitely keep your eye out for is these type of raised feeder stations, specifically because of this. Look, this is marble. Hi. super cool, very cool as like a little stacked ledge or something. Okay, it does say meow, but pretend it didn't. So you can totally like use these as little like raised tray things. Like, okay, for example, in your kitchen, you might use this to like stack your little cookbooks on, and then you have a little area right here for storage underneath. Or, hold please, you can also find little matching planters, jars, vases, whatever, and you can use that as its own little kind of planter station. One note, I do think it's cool if you get two different ones or ones at different levels specifically, because then your plants are gonna kind of stack at different levels, if that makes sense. And I will say these can get very fancy because people make nice like wood ones, or like, again, this is like marble. So that could be really cool. You see? Just trying to show off the goods. Cool, do you see? If it wasn't crooked, but you get it. Careful. Get out. Get out, there we go. Okay, another thing you are always gonna see in the thrift store is a million cutting boards. And they're often gonna be pretty janky. Cutting boards are great for styling a kitchen, especially for hiding outlets. And if you look in styling photos in magazines, they will always be using cutting boards, sometimes a comical amount, as you can see here, to hide outlets and other such things. So one really cool thing you can do with cutting boards is get them and then paint or like style them. Specifically, I'm thinking of this $200 Mackenzie Childs cutting board, which you can easily DIY that checkerboard pattern on here with a little, tiny little can of wood stain. So consider that if you're looking for stuff for your kitchen. Guys, was this video chaotic? Probably a little bit, but I hope you guys got a little bit of inspiration and thought it was, Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I gotta get out of here. This place closes in like 5 minutes and it's been a weird day of thrifting. So hope it was helpful. If you guys have ideas of other ways you could use items, please comment them below. You know I love to see them. All right, but seriously, I gotta get out of here. Okay, bye.